Idaho faces big challenges when it comes to wildfires. Fortunately, though, innovative solutions are coming from within our own communities. It's a statewide project called Where We Live, and it's bringing together local wisdom and cutting-edge research to help Idaho stay strong, safe, and resilient. Joining us today is Sean Moon from the University of Idaho to explain further. Sean, it's so good to have you.
Good to be here, Melissa.
Okay, wildfire, something that Idahoans know a lot about. We're very familiar with them.
Far too familiar.
I agree. Tell us a little more, though, about what the University of Idaho is doing with this project called Where We Live. What is that?
Where We Live is about going out and working with our communities to understand what they see changing, what they can do about it, and how to help them thrive. It's about engaging with everyday Idahoans, your grocers, your farmers, your timber workers, to understand their perspectives, their views, what they see, and what they're doing in the face of a huge challenge, wildfire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we see, it seems like almost year after year, Idaho communities in particular, every summer, every fire season, threatened by wildfires, right? So we're seeing these communities get impacted. This seems to be a very needed program, right?
That's part of the reason why the National Science Foundation funded the program.
Yeah.
It was a big, they looked at it and said, this is important.
Yeah, it's very important.
This is how we can help rural America, which is typically not paid enough attention to. Rural communities are literally the backbone. They're the heart and soul of the country. 84% of America is rural. 14% of the population lives in the rural area, but they produce our energy, our food, our water. If you don't have farmers, you don't have food. If you don't have timber, you don't have houses, let alone the energy, the water, et cetera. When you look at water and wildfire, people think, oh, fire and water. Wildfires destroy things that impact the sediments in the water that we drink.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's all tied together.
It is all tied together. Let's talk about the program and what you're trying to do. Help us understand that and how it looks.
We go out, or we are going out, to talk to the communities. We're showing up at community events, at the grocery store, wherever. And what we're looking to do is understand what people see. What change they see is happening. What do they believe needs to happen to help them thrive, to help them to be resilient, to help them use what they already have and figure out what else they need. And it's an attempt to understand what's really out there and help communities prosper. One of our communities lost a major business in last summer's wildfires. And it's devastated. One of our communities has historically burned to the ground 3 times.
Yes.
I mean, that's a frightening prospect. So how can we do better?
So this work, though, and we're talking, Idaho wildfire season. Is this a focus, though, only on Idaho, or is there a broader reach with this?
Where We Live is partnering with 2 different universities, the University of Nevada, Reno, and the University of South Carolina. And the objective, they're working with small rural communities in their areas so that we can bring back as much information as possible and broaden the understanding so that at the end of the day, what we learn, the advice we can give to policymakers, the help we can give to the federal government to understand the rural communities is applicable across the nation.
So when any of these rural communities, regardless if they're in Idaho or anywhere in our country, is under threat of wildfire, we are able to give them the resources and the help and the support they need to make sure that no matter what, they'll continue to be able to thrive. Is that, would you say, the end-all goal?
The end-all goal is to make sure they have the resources in advance and the ability when the event occurs.
Yeah, it's the preparedness.
Right.
Wonderful. Okay, so how do our viewers learn more and get involved possibly too?
First is a website, www.wherewelive.org, and that'll have a lot of good information, including what communities we're engaged with, what we're doing, and people are going to see us out in the communities, on the community schedules, at the grocery stores, at community events. It may be a community barbecue, and give us a little bit of time. Tell us your perspectives. What do you see changing? What do you see in the future? What do you see that will help the community thrive?
So you need people to share their voices.
Absolutely.
All right, so don't be shy. Make sure you speak up and you participate. Sean, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate what you're doing, not only to improve Idaho, but also our country as a whole.